want to drink your drink?
Yes. I've actually got a lot of coffee left, sorry.
Actually, I do too. So cheers to
Nice.
Sunday.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to another Lazy Gang stream. We're so excited to hang out and chat and maybe write with you a little bit today. How are you doing, Malin? It wasn't too long ago since we were here, but what are you up to lately?
First, I loved your reaction to my t-shirt, so I thought I should show it to everyone else.
Yes.
Like, excuse you? How cute is that?
I know. If I had a Jot approves, I would give you a Jot approves for the
I mean, like,
t-shirt.
I'm ready for work, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
I love it. I think you said you got it from Sainsbury's. I think all the
yeah.
writers of the UK are going to snatch that one right up.
It's literally that. So if anyone's in the UK, Sainsbury's got this clothing brand called TU, like TU. And I think there was 20% off everything today. And I was in just looking for some home stuff. And I saw this t-shirt. I was like, I have to buy this.
It's so cute. I'm so jealous. Maybe
it's
if
also, it's nicely oversized, you know, like it's going to be a nice lounging t-shirt.
Maybe I'll go buy one in like 4 weeks when I'm in London.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. I'm really so excited. I'm so pumped. Other than that, I'm feeling productive, but not in a writing mood yet. So I need to switch that productivity to writing because I've been doing a fuck ton of small little tasks in the house that I had been leaving for a while. Because next weekend my parents are coming over to the UK. So
yes. The parents speed
that always
clean.
is
I'm
what
very
makes
familiar.
Me, like, activate. They don't even care. My mom loves my house. She's always like, "Oh my God, it's so tidy." I'm like, is it? But I just want it to be nice, even though they're not the kind of parents who are going to comment or anything.
Same.
So I did like a bunch of things. I have like a long list of to-do items, some of which are writing / content related, and I've done a couple. But then it's mostly been like change the bed sheets, buy new light bulbs for downstairs, replace all of the light bulbs downstairs because they were like dimming.
Yeah.
Swap lamps upstairs, sprinkling the bathroom because I have a bunch of items that I've had for a year that I've not touched. So I want to like clear a bunch of things. I don't have it anymore. I had to re-sew a button and I'm shit at that. So it was a struggle.
Oh, good job.
Set up a new camera because I've got an outdoor camera to look at the garden now for like security purposes, just in case. And
yeah,
it's like the same brand as like the one at the door so that now they're like synced. And finally put together this IKEA box I was telling you about that I'm struggling with. So I have a bunch more things to do, but this was, I've done a few. I'm really happy with
That's
myself.
you made really good progress. And I'm glad I'm not the only one who, like, when my parents come, that's when I actually get all the shit done that I've been meaning to do.
I think it's also because they're coming around spring, and I do have the motivation to do that kind of stuff around springtime. Like I'm suddenly like, get shit sorted in the house. And I was itching to draft because I'm in the POV of Axel right now, and I was feeling it like it was going to be my reward. I was like, I'm going to do as much as possible before this stream, and when I see Anna, I'm going to get to write.
Heck yeah. Awesome. So how's your April adventure been going?
It's going okay because I set up a time-based goal. I don't know if you did that or if you put words.
I did time as well. Yeah.
Does that feel healthier to you? I feel like it feels healthier to me.
It really does. I also made it reasonable. I did 15 hours. I don't know what you did.
That's good. I put 40 hours, but I put in there both writing in Project Alien and query trenches for the demons. So even just spending some time researching agents goes into I spend 40 minutes doing that goes in there, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I was thinking I will do less during the week, but I would like to do 1 hour per day. And then during the weekend, a bit more. So I had like 30 hours plus I'll add an extra 10 for the weekends. So that was my for it.
Yeah. I've been slumping so hard that I was like, I really need to put the bar kind of like just right above the floor.
Which is good. But like that's how you get out of a slump. It's like put a small goal in front of you, achieve it, and you feel so much better.
Yeah. Because I was really good on April 1st, did nothing April 2nd through 9th. And the goal still, I think I can catch up. So ideally,
it's not unachievable. So it's still there.
Yeah. So like halfway through the month is 2 Tuesday. So I have to be at what, like 7.5 hours by Tuesday. I think I'm around 4 right now, which is honestly sad,
But
but
it's also really, I feel like you
it's
could so
doable.
easily catch up. Yeah.
Yeah, and if we're good today, like that'll be amazing towards me getting halfway through.
Yeah.
Um, and I've done a
Well,
lot this week. I had a lot of breakthroughs this week, which I'm really excited about.
I do really want to hear you talk about this. How much are you willing to share? How much can you say about your
Yeah, I can say I've been well writing the end of Hare's book, and it's been really slumpy and slow and hard. And I was thinking a lot about like why does this feel so draggy and blah?
Yeah.
And I realized my first of two breakthroughs. My first breakthrough was that I realized I had two final battles, one after the other.
Mm,
And I think what I needed to do in the next draft is nest them so it's one inside of the other.
yeah.
So one final battle starts, then we get sucked into the other one, and then we come back and finish the job.
Yeah.
Because I finished writing one final battle, and then going into the second one, I was like, I don't even care anymore. Like, I feel like the forces of evil have been defeated, and this doesn't even like matter
Yeah, that
anymore.
makes sense. You'd be like, another one?
I'd be like, man, will this book just end already?
It's like the ending to, the last movie in The Lord of the Rings when everyone was in the cinema. Because I remember it like it was yesterday. We were all in the movie theater, and like, you're like, oh yeah, this is a nice ending. Everyone sort of starts getting up, and then it's like, oh, there's more. Okay, everyone sits back
Yep,
down. It
yep,
happened
yep.
3 times.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was giving me that feeling, and I thought about that a lot, and then my bigger breakthrough to try and make this last final battle really fun and like what is going on here. Luke and I sat down and we like theater of the mind did it as if we were going to play in D&D, and we have like a sheet
Yeah,
of plexiglass that we use for D&D.
I
So
love
I
that.
drew out my like the scene of the final battle, and we actually visualized like the stages, like the 5-part finale, like where everyone's going to
You
go.
Did you do it like a D&D battle where you were like, okay, so she's on this square and
We didn't get that particular. I went into it being like maybe I want you to roll some stuff, maybe not, but we ended up just doing like a visual brainstorm, but it just helped me cuz I we know me, white room syndrome. And trying to write a final battle in a white room was was hard. So actually sitting
yeah.
down and being like, here's they're on this part of the castle, and then they're going to have to go down the cliff, and now they're on the beach. Like,
Can I just say, I
yeah.
feel like there's something crazy interesting about how it's the men in our lives that can help us sort through visualizing a space, because that's literally what happened. Because I'm like, I know where my characters are, I know what I want to happen. I'm iffy on like how do they get there and how does this person do this. And I was like running it by Jamie, like thinking, okay, you play video games, and it's sort of
Yeah.
like visualize it like a video game, like
Yes.
very sci-fi. And I was like, okay, so I need a sort of device that would do this. And then
Yeah. It's so fun. Yeah, having someone who his brain is definitely wired for story. You
yeah,
know, maybe not novels, but video games and D&D and
yeah,
theater. Like he when we're doing this brainstorming, he's like, "Oh yeah, and then they could do this like in this movie." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I can see that. That's so great."
I love that.
So I've had some good breakthroughs. I did a lot of work on my outline, and
And
I'm
Marta has
ready
the
to
same
write.
thing apparently. Boyfriend
Yeah.
also helps visualize spaces. There's a
Yeah.
thing. I swear there's a thing.
I think it's because like on your first attempt, our writer brains are doing so many things
True.
that the visuals are just kind of like bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah.
That's my at least for me.
And
Um,
we've tried, and like we have to try so much to be like, okay, we want to tell a story with heart, and like this
mhm.
is an arc for a character, and their personality goes from this to this, and like who has time to think about the corners of the room and
Not me.
yeah,
Not me. I've got 60,000 words of white room. That's what I have right now.
it's pretty good though.
Um, let's say hello to our friends. Stig is here and Marta is here. Marta's already done my writing for today. Went to a little cafe this morning to write. Sticky
Cute.
apple and toffee cake. It was delightful.
Oh,
Gonna be working on YouTube stuff.
so
Marta, sounds like such a lovely Sunday.
yes.
Another lovely Sunday. Steve spent a few hours at the playground with my brother and his oldest, and then went through my March financial audit and set up the April budget and spending tracker.
Nice.
Proud
I
of
do it
you.
quite early because I get paid on the 25th each month. So I do it on the 25th or 26th. So
Hmm.
I'm already way more than halfway through the month.
Yeah. Well, good for you. And ready to get some words now. Hi, Michael. Hi, Dami. Yes, shout out to the Pomodoro shirt. So cute. I would love if we all just bought
Rainbow.
them and this is our
Honestly,
uniform.
let's have like a Pomodoro uniform. I'd love it.
Yes. And yes, Marta, it's been on my to-do list to send you a message, Marta, because I want to get dinner with you and Malin. So expect a DM incoming shortly. Um, OMG, I made it. I'm glad you're here, Keiko.
Forgot about this. Fair. We sometimes do too.
Yeah, I would absolutely love it if you guys were there. Um, and Marta's goal is also 15 hours. How are you doing, Marta? I'm sure you're further along than me,
Well,
but let us
Marta
know.
was struggling to find how to see the hours she was behind the other day. I think she's caught up since. But like on Track Bear, for some reason, I could see
Yeah.
like the minutes as well. But I think on hers it was cut. So you had to like
Oh,
scroll left or right to get more.
let me see.
Um,
Yeah, I'm at 3 hours 45.
I'm I'm pretty much on time. I've got 2 hours 45 in advance, but
Nice.
yeah, it's nothing extra, nothing. I haven't done anything today yet, to be fair. So
That's right. Today is still a new day.
yeah.
Stieg is home from a I'm from a very messy home, not dirty, just cluttered and messy, so my need to have every corner of my apartment shine like the top of the Chrysler building is innate.
Love it.
And my goal is 10K words for the month, but my true goal is to finish this damn book. And you're already at 7,164.
Amazing. Doing
Amazing job.
fantastic.
And how does that correlate to the end of the book, Stieg? Let us know. Would
Yeah,
love
how much
to.
do you feel like you still have? I feel like he said how many scenes he's got left.
Ooh, I would love to know. And the ramp up month was so helpful. 100 words the first week, 200 the second week, 300 the third. That's a great. I don't think I knew that you were doing this, Stieg, and I love the sound of that. Sounds
Yeah.
like where I'm at, honestly, just like putting the bar right above the floor.
I feel like when you start writing, very often you're like, all I need is 100 words. And then you get through them and you're like, I want to continue. Like,
Hmm.
you don't stop there usually.
So true. Yeah, if you just get 100 more times often than not, you'll get a little bit more. Keiko is taking a break. Oh, I'm glad you're on vacation. That's fun.
Are you feeling better on your vacation? Because I know she was getting like the effects of when you're pretty much on getting through a burnout almost, and then you get on vacation immediately after, and your body
Mm.
makes you feel like crap because
Yeah,
you're finally resting, and so you've
yeah.
lost the adrenaline of no, I gotta keep churning.
The collapse, the immune
I,
system,
yeah,
nervous system collapse.
exactly. I think that's where Keiko was at the beginning of her vacation. So I hope you're doing better now.
Oh, me too. Me too. Marta's super behind on my time goal, but I have a flight coming up, so hopefully I'll be able to catch up on the plane. I love that. And I assume you're going to Spain, and I'm very excited for you to be going to Spain to go home and see family. And I'm so jealous that you can ride on planes because I'm always too self-conscious that the person like behind me is like going to peer through the seats and read my screen.
Uh, I don't mind. I feel like people don't really. To be fair, I wouldn't write a spicy scene on a plane. True.
Yeah,
But I would write murder. I don't have any qualms about that.
yeah. I agree. And Keiko got 10K yesterday. Woo!
Amazing. Good
Amazing
job.
job. And they even cut the final battle that the hobbits have to go through when they come back to
Yes,
Hobbiton. So the
'cause I
book
read
has
that.
even more. Yeah.
Um,
Hello, Flora. Welcome. Also have another visual boyfriend.
Nice.
The ending of Red Dead 2 is like 30 hours long. Of course, I enjoy every hour. Oh, yes. This is you're talking about the video game, right, Michael? And the prologue that's like a ton of hours of playing. Or
Or
not prologue,
epilogue.
epilogue.
Yeah, that's a lot. 30 hours long.
It's like a third of the whole story.
I don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. I think that's my problem.
Yeah, I would be like, the story's done. I'm out. I am my own boyfriend visualizing my novel. I know.
Love that for you.
A single mom who works too hard. Don't say that out of context. Getting paid on the 15th. Exciting.
The plans are planning.
The plans are planning. Not by much. I think I only caught you up after my stream yesterday. I'm at 5 hours 35, including the writing from this morning, which is not in Track Bear yet. Nice job.
Nice.
You're going to hit that halfway point nice and easy, I think. Steve did the ramp up challenge for March, and honestly, it completely uprooted my slump and rewired my brain.
That sounds amazing.
I love that. I need a brain rewiring.
Every day, please.
Every day. Almost done with scene 48 out of 56.
There you go.
Oh my goodness, getting so close. Hi, JK. Welcome. Marta is indeed going to Spain. I'm a bit terrified, but also looking forward to seeing family. Also, one time I was writing on a plane and had the feeling the person next to me was reading stuff, but I thought it was just in my head. Then the second I put my laptop away, he asked me if I was a writer and if I have anything published he can read. And holy fuck, that was terrifying.
Oh
God. Took me a while to recover from that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like imagine if you were like, an indie self-published author, you could so easily have said like, yeah, you can download it off Kindle right now if you want. It's over there.
Oh my gosh. What a compliment though, because if he was reading all your stuff and then had to know immediately where he could get it,
that is a compliment.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But I would also freak out.
Yeah.
Keiko is indeed feeling better. I'm still at home, but vacationing, definitely doing better, but dreading work. One coworker has decided to be sick for 2 weeks, and everyone knows he only does it because of moving. Ugh.
Yeah.
That stinks. Scene 48 is the executing the plan of it all before the Hightower surprise, which is going to reveal the villain's true motive and end in a duel.
Exciting.
So exciting! I love this. I love that we're kind of in the same section, as always. Little by little, we'll get there. Red Dead 2, when playthrough properly without rushing and whilst doing just about everything to do, is probably a 600-hour game. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I know this well because Luke has put in several lifetimes into this game.
Oh my god.
That was before I'd even done a round of beta reading, so technically he was the second person ever after my boyfriend to read my writing.
You should have been like, no, but I need beta readers. Do you want to exchange contacts?
Yeah, give me your email address. You seem to be my target audience.
That's so funny. Oh.
That is funny. Alrighty, we've been yapping for 18 minutes.
I enjoy it.
I enjoy it too. I love hearing about where everyone's at and getting all the updates. So I'm going to announce our topic for the day. As always, we have a little chitty-chatty discussion topic kind of based on what we're thinking about lately. And this one probably won't be any surprise, but it is too many projects, too little time.
Yeah. It's a struggle. It's a struggle bus.
Yeah. This was a suggestion of yours, Malin, that I just really related to. So tell me about how you've been feeling lately.
So I think I was just having a little look at, hey, I've started this brand new Project Alien, and finishing the Art of Summoning Demons draft 4 so that I could query it again. And then I was like, I still have not touched draft 2 of An Office for Monsters. I still have not touched the end of draft 1 of Knights of Death. I just suddenly felt like, oh my God, I have too many projects I have started, which was my goal initially. I wanted to get to that point. but at some point it feels overwhelming because you're like, I never see the end of it, because I wanted to stick to demons so that I could finish it properly. And it was like, very often you'll say, okay, so quarter one I'll do this, quarter two, or like maybe on this month I'll work on this, and then that month I'll work on that. Some people
Mhm.
are able to swap between projects, but it makes me feel like things take twice as long if I do that. So I
Yeah.
really wanted to hone in and focus on only demons so that I could finish it. And it took me so much time to get there that by the end of it I was like, I have left everything else behind, and I feel like I haven't
Yeah.
touched them in literal years, which is crazy. And it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like that slight scare of, oh my god, how long is it meant to take to finish a draft? How long
Mhm.
until I finish all the other ones that I have started? Because that's how long it took me to finish the first book I wrote. So
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
scary.
Yep.
That was sort of the overwhelming feeling I suddenly got.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like this is the existential
Yeah.
thing that I've just been spiraling with the past couple of months as I've been slumping and just kind of considering how slow I really am and how long it takes to get through things. Even when I'm like really pedal to the metal, it still takes a
Yeah.
good chunk of time. And I think writing more than anything has showed me how little or how fast a year can go by.
If I may, I think the problem is we're in our own heads about this.
Hmm.
And the moment I say it, I'm like, oh my God, it's taking me so long. And like, I'm being
Yeah.
so slow with this whole book. And then you were like, oh my God, you've really turned in the work and you've really done like so much in the
Yeah.
past few months about demons. And the
Yeah.
moment you said, I realized how long it took me to write a book. And my immediate reaction was like, you work a full-time job and there are stresses that come with that. You're fine. Like, I immediately want to defend your own
Yeah.
space with yourself. So
Yeah.
it's really just like a self-criticism thing as well, I think.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like you have to accept both truths of like, this is how fast I go, and that's fine, and there's
Yeah,
no value judgment on that. But it also does, mean that I can only do a certain amount of things in so long.
yeah,
And you kind of have to like accept like the fact that like working on one thing is sacrificing time on another.
yes.
And that's the part that's hard to get over because I don't have as many projects as you, but I do still have books that I want to get to and that are
Yeah.
exciting to me. Um, and who I could be in my mid 30s by the time I start writing another new book.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And just the fact that I'm already in my 30s is also another existential crisis of like I really started writing again seriously when I was probably 26 or 27. I'm 31 and a half.
Yeah, wait until you're 30 fucking four. And then you're like,
Where
oh,
where am I going, babe? Where am I
shit,
going?
where did the time go?
So, let's see. Yes, don't worry. We'll have plenty of yap yap. It's a lazy gang stream, so we don't promise a lot of productivity. I
True, true.
think we have to accept that as writers through our lifetime, we'll have more ideas than time. And that's the thing I can't accept, Steve.
It's so hard. It feels like you want to get to every single one of your children and you
Hmm.
can't.
Yeah, yeah. After playing BG3 again, I have the violent urge to write on Project Dying Gods, same world as Project Owlite, only 25 years later, which is a completely different atmosphere. Oh, I love just the name Project Dying Gods is so
Yeah,
interesting to me.
that's a good name.
Marta says, I don't feel like I have too many writing projects, well, a bit, but not much, but do feel this with too many creative hobbies and not feeling like I have time to dedicate to all of them. And this is so true. Like, not
Yeah.
even just like the amount of writing projects I have, but also like I'm a broken record. I want to learn how to make my own clothes. I want to learn how to sew. I want to learn how to draw. And do I dedicate time to any of those things? No, because the second I have free time, I'm like, gotta write.
Yes. And also, I think there's a point where you start, it's just like, it's fucking work. That's the problem. That's what eats up most of your time. And then you're like, okay, so I can only focus on one thing at a time because
Hmm.
otherwise my brain goes like, bloop.
Yep. I can only hold like three things in this pea brain, you guys.
Literally.
Yeah, as Steek said, the problem is we're full-time workers wishing we were full-time writers. Yeah,
Yeah.
constantly have to reset my expectations for myself. Although I'm part-time but bordering full-time with the hours of overtime, yeah, I mean, any amount of work, is something to balance.
Yeah.
Speed in writing is different from speed in a lot of other things.
True. That's
hmm
very
I had a weird brain moment watching Wallace's recent video where she said her goal for the month was 125 hours of writing, and my brain just went, wait, what? There's not that many hours in a month, is there? And it was this weird realization of how different writing full time would actually be. Like, I don't
true.
think I'd actually processed the fact that if you don't work full time, you can spend that many hours writing somehow. And I don't know why it took Wallace saying that specific number for that to sink into my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot about like how many hours I'll have spent um, on my career. As like all the time that I've spent into like what I've built at work, and like, oh man, what if I could take all those hours, and what would my legacy look like if I was putting that chunk of my life into something else? It's
I can't think
painful.
about it because it will literally just depress me. Because
hmm
the way I try to see it is not so much how much time I'm giving to other people at work by doing that, but more like obviously I'm privileged in that aspect, but like for instance, the fact that I've bought a house, I'm like, okay, so this is what that
mm,
gave me. This is I couldn't do that with, or even just going on a lovely holiday that's going to build memories for a lifetime. It's like that is the money from doing this job.
yeah.
Hence, those hours go into that. That lost time is actually
Mm,
into this. That's how
yeah.
I have to see it. Otherwise, it's just depressing to think.
Yeah.
It's,
I think that's a actually really important mindset shift. And I'm going to repeat that to myself a bunch. It's not just a loss, it is a trade.
yeah, it's a weird investment thing.
hmm so with this in mind, our first question that we're going to talk about when we get back from the sprint, how do you balance revising projects and pushing them forward versus nurturing new ideas, especially when time is limited? Kind of what Malin was saying about, investing a big time chunk into pushing demons forward and forward and forward, versus things like Project Alien and Knights of Death. So if you're someone who's also spinning your project plates, let's chat about that when we get back. How long do you want to sprint for, Miss Malin?
30
Yeah,
ish.
that sounds great. I was going to suggest that because I have my April Adventures page in my bullet journal is split up into 30-minute boxes.
Perfect.
So that would be fantastic. Um, which of Miss Malin's timers would we like to use?
Oh, my timers. Uh,
Yeah.
mm, cocktail?
Yeah, this one really says Lazy Gang with the pink.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do the little pory, crispy, beautiful sound, and then I'll shorten it up to 30.
Sounds good.
So good luck, everybody. All right. Great job, everybody.
Yay!
Yay. How was your sprint?
Sorry, I was just closing my quote marks so I don't forget.
Yes, that's good.
That happens to me a lot. I got just 184 words, but I to be to put a little bit of defense on this
hmm
small amount of word count. I had to name three characters, so
Ooh,
I'm
rough.
just saying.
I hate that for you.
Yes, and I hate that for me too, especially considering they're canon fodder. Like they're literally the people I
Mm.
want to die first on this space bar trip.
Body one, body two, body three.
Literally, I had them as crew member number four, and number five, and then I had one person I had a first name for, but not a last name for, and like a few names that needed to go in. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah. I hate doing last names, man. I think Poppy was the first character I ever came up with a last name for.
I find that last names are so difficult because I actually usually want them to refer to something or mean something or be inspired by something, and I don't like them to just be there,
Yeah.
unless it pops into my head like this sounds good. But if not, then I need to do a little bit of research and go into Wikipedia wormholes of hell and just go
Yeah.
into like circles. Like, okay, but like if this is inspired by this and this person invented that thing, then maybe the last name of that. It's so dumb.
I can see why doing that 3 times would be very time consuming.
So these people don't matter; they're gonna die. But I
Oh,
needed
okay.
it to sound different enough from one another as well that I have to remember to do that, and I find that difficult. And just
Mhm.
yeah, like there's a character I was just literally just like, I think his name is Jones, and I was like, just Jones? That doesn't make any sense. I was like, well, how about his name is Edward Jones, but he hates Edward, so he just goes by Jones.
Nice. I like that.
There we go. We've got a bit of personality into one of the people that are
Yeah.
going to die first.
A little dash of depth so that you feel something
Exactly.
when they get into their cannon and shot through.
I'm like, because also, to be fair, I like to go back and forth between my manuscript and my Notion page where I have like some notes about the characters and stuff, just to make sure that I keep track of things like that, because otherwise I will forget.
Mm,
So although I only wrote 184 words, there was the naming, and then I also was taking notes of the appearance of some people I've described so that I don't forget that, and just trying to keep track of these things. So that
very
was
good.
my 30 minutes. Oh, and I ate some yogurt. That's it.
Nice. Excellent. I'm glad you remembered to tell me that you ate yogurt.
Hyper important. How did you do?
Um, I did really well. It turns out when you take time to plan out your scene,
Yeah,
it goes really well. So I got 725 words.
crazy. That's amazing.
Bro, I hate all of them. I hate all of them. It not enjoying the words. However,
You
we're
can enjoy
starting to
that they're
figure it
there.
out. I do. I love that they're there, and that's the only thing I love about them. And
That's
I
really good.
get to color
So,
in a square because
yes,
we did 30 minutes,
that is so satisfying.
and
See,
I'm
the
gonna do
thing
it
about the
immediately.
time-based goals is I find it easier to not care as much about the word count
Yeah.
because I think it's a combination of time-based, the fact that I'm just like, I've done 30 minutes, I can count that. And
hmm
second, it's also the fact that I've got my outline. So it's a bit like what you're saying about when you know where you're going, it's suddenly a lot easier.
Imagine.
Because I'm not trying to hit a word goal by the end of my day anymore. I'm trying to hit a scene. I'm trying to hit a beat. So I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah.
in my head, I'm more counting by like my outline, and I'm like, oh, I'm in this area. This is really good. I'm already there. That's crazy, you know.
Yeah.
And I started writing this month, and I've got 8K, and I don't care about the number. I'm just like, this is I'm at this point. Yay!
Yeah, it's really fun. This is some extrapolation, but I have like 6 note cards for this final battle scene that I need to get
Yeah,
through. And like, okay, so in that 30-minute sprint, I got through half a note card.
that's pretty good.
So, by that logic, if I do 12, 30 minutes, I could finish this book.
That is crazy. See, suddenly it feels so much more like, wow, we're there.
God, I just want to get there so badly.
Do you hate your words to the point of not wanting to share anything, or would you do the Taylor
Hmm.
methods and share? Not, you don't have to do the last line, any line.
Uh,
And it can be just the one actual line out of context if you want it to be.
my last lines were Blake and I go to the rail and peer down. My stomach turns when I take in the scene.
Ooh, okay.
Not the best, not the
Yeah, still
worst.
intriguing, still intriguing. A little bit of tension.
Um, so let's see how our friends did. And Katie joined us. Hello. I love that Michael clocked that I was locked the fuck in. I don't even want to know what my face looks like when I'm getting 700 words. I'm
I
just
don't know if I was locked in either. Like I was eating my yogurt and just trying to figure out. Yeah,
eating my yogurt.
and then like I mean, people might be disgusted by this, but like after I'm done with my yogurt, then I let Edgar lick the because he fucking loves it. And then it goes in the dishwasher.
That is so funny. Oh my god.
So he was waiting like right there the entire time I was eating it, like staring at it because he knows he'll get.
Oh, to be Edgar.
Yeah, to be
Oh
a
my
spoiled
gosh.
child of two millennials with double income, no kids.
I'm telling you, that's going to be my next life is spoiled dog.
Yeah.
I worked hard in this life. Next life, I'm going to be a dog. Marta mostly just tidied my filming corner and got my camera set up. I want to film 2 intros, 1 outro, and 1 voiceover, and then hopefully do some editing too.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, productive. And I'm excited that you have so many videos in the works. That's
yeah.
exciting. Michael messaged with a friend asking her a literary agent question, did some laundry, and got some more coffee.
Nice.
Yeah. Um, Flora reread the last chapter I'd written in order to get back into the story. I have a bad cold, so let's see how well I can write today, or maybe I'll
Oh,
just go back to crocheting. Oh, sorry, Flora.
yeah. That can be hard to focus when you're ill.
Yeah, if the crocheting, you know, is the better thing, then just do that and be cozy. Thank you, Marta. Yes, I love that sharing lines is now a thing. Locked into yogurt. Keiko's writing sometime. I'm writing sometimes really weird and stupid stuff that logically and grammatically doesn't make sense because I've been writing in English for so long now because of the fanfic that I have trouble writing in German again. Hence why I accidentally wrote othered instead of ordered earlier. Oh, no problem, Keiko. I think being bilingual is magic. So I just mad respect no matter what. um, Yogurt, woo, Edgar. My time has come.
Oh yeah, he is locked in. When you say people are locked in, you should see him when he's focused on something. Like it's just like, no, I won't deviate from staring at this.
Steve wrote 0 words, just looking up floating shelves above the TV and LED table lamps. Got to write on the next sprint.
Exciting.
Exciting. Technically, I'm trilingual. See, that's what I'm saying. Magic. That's incredible. Could never be me. My brain is too old and small.
I'm gonna reject what Steek's saying because Steek, you can be hard on yourself all you want, but don't you dare be hard on me.
I reject this too. I think it absolutely does count. I think a lot about how if it were not for you guys having this magic, I would not have access to the friendships that I have. And it's only because other people have learned English that I, can make connections with people, in the world. Like,
Good
think
way of
of
seeing it.
how many people I can't make friendships with because I don't know their language.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
so
like,
I'm
like that.
grateful to anyone who knows my language so that I could be friends with them.
I was also thinking, like, I think Steek's got a point perhaps about, no offense, but like Scandinavian countries, just because, yeah, Scandinavian countries do a lot to make sure people are bilingual and speak English. Like, My friend went to study in Sweden, and she was like, all the university degrees there are bilingual, like are
Mm.
I think all the postgrad degrees, because it was for postgrad, are in English. Like they're
Wow.
in English. So people obviously speak English. It's not the case in Belgium. We already speak two languages. Like we have to
Mm.
learn a second one in school because we're bilingual, if not trilingual country. No one cares about German. No offense, Keiko. But it's a tiny, tiny part of the country, and there's enough with like Dutch and French. And then to learn English, often you do it more as kids because you want to be able to watch the movies and
Yeah.
have dubs, because like dubbing is annoying, and because you want to travel and everything, and because we're a small country. But you go to France next door, which is the big country next door, and you listen to my fucking cousins talk about how hard it was to learn English in school because it's not cool. Like they
uh,
were like, the other kids would make fun of you if you sounded good in English, so you keep your French accent and you do a bad job on purpose. Like
Honestly, that makes sense.
you were seen as a loser if you were good at. Like it's crazy, and it's just like, okay, every European country has a different culture about it, and I
Hmm.
disagree that it's a freebie of, no, people have been working. If
Yeah.
anything, our parents have put money in because we had lessons as kids before everyone else started learning English. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I love hearing about just how it's
Keiko,
ingrained. It's so different.
Keiko, I don't mean Germans. I mean the German language. In Belgium, officially, we're meant to be a trilingual country. There's a small part that speaks German, but everyone ignores it and no one cares about it because it's so freaking tiny. That in reality, most people speak French and Dutch, and that's it. That's what I
Yeah.
meant.
What do you call the thing after trilingual? Probably
Polyglot.
multilingual.
Oh, is it not polyglot in English?
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the truth is that I'm just a dumb American, and it's only because of the efforts of other countries that I can have expansive friend groups. I mean, most of my Western European friends, or rather my Spanish friends who aren't in the writing sphere, do not in fact speak English. So I reject what Steve said.
See?
It's not an accident. Um, maybe it's a Scandi thing. Yeah, multilingual. Cool.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, let's scroll
Derailed
back
that
up.
completely.
What's that?
Derailed that completely.
That's okay. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. But let's turn back to our question. So on the topic of too many projects, too little time, what are your thoughts on this, Malin? How do you balance revising projects and pushing them forward versus nurturing your many amazing, great new ideas?
I'm not sure that I do a good job of balancing it, that's for sure. But I do think it's been maybe harder yet better for me to focus on one at a time recently,
Mm,
which is what I've been trying to do. There's just the struggle of you get really bored of the task you're constantly doing after a while. So if you're full on locked in doing revisions after revision to get a draft out, it's really difficult. At some point it's like I just want to draft again.
yeah.
But I also think allowing myself to, it was more so like not overwhelming myself with too many things to do, because if I saw it as like, okay, I'm going to do a bit of revisions, but I also want to do a bit of writing, I want to, then I think I would have been like, I don't have this much energy in me or time to actually do all of these things at once. So actually being like, yeah, I'm going to be slow at this, but I'm going to revise this, doing this one round. That's all I need to do in the next couple of weeks. That's all I need to do this month.
Hmm.
That's my writing task for the month.
Yeah.
Was actually healthier. And I didn't feel like burned out by the end of it. I was just a bit tired of like, working on the same document, but
Yeah.
I didn't feel like burned out by it or like in a slump or anything. And that also allowed me to really like build up that craving for drafting again.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, I know I was there. I have other things that I should be drafting also, but it got that excitement built up. So that was the good thing about trying to
Hmm.
focus on one at a time. Well, I think before, when I was trying to do it all at once and do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, then I felt like I wasn't good. I was going nowhere because I wasn't seeing a result at the end of it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot more satisfaction now to saying draft 4 is done. It's back to querying, and it's like I can focus on something else.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a really good point about like breaking things down into small
Yeah.
achievements. And I
Yeah.
think you have to let yourself feel the little wins to feel like you're moving forward.
Yes.
Because if you feel
Exactly.
like you're just doing a little bit here, doing a little bit there, and not like pushing anything forward, then it can feel like you're spinning out.
It just feels like you're constantly working and there's no result inside. It's a little bit like when you start reading 5 books at the same time,
Yeah.
and then throughout the month you haven't finished a single one on your Goodreads challenge or something, but then you'll finish all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
But for like a month or two, you finish nothing. So it
That's
feels a
so
bit like
true. I
that.
hate that feeling.
Yeah, and I need a bit of that satisfaction to feel like I've achieved something every now and then. So I feel like
Hmm.
maybe doing one at a time is the best way for me to balance the two of them. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I also feel like I do not do a good job of this, mostly because my MO so far has been to work on a project until I get really, really stuck and
Mm.
desert it and go on to something new.
Because
So,
it's often what
yeah.
we're told would work best as a solution, right? It's like, oh, if you're
Hmm.
stuck in something, work on something else and it'll help you.
Yeah.
But I don't always agree. Like, I feel like sometimes, you have to just take the time to think. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Depends on what.
Yeah. I think mostly it's just an effort to keep writing and not like be sitting on a problem and then a year goes by where I
Yeah.
have not written because I'm still working on this problem. Um, and
Yeah.
it's kind of just an effort in just keeping myself moving forward so I don't lose the muscle.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I really don't think I do a good job on this, truthfully. That's all I have to say.
But what do you think would help you? Like, what's your ideal like version of this? Do you think that you could be doing a better job, or are you like, this is the method that I have to go through?
I think I really admire folks who do like split up their time intentionally somehow. Like for
Mm.
example, like I'm I'm writing Hare's book right now.
Yeah.
But let's say one weekend out of every month, I'm going to work on this project. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's really nice because I have the problem where, like, since Hare's book is my main project, anytime I spend doing something else, I feel guilty about. And I
Yeah.
feel the sacrifice of not doing that on Hare's book. But I think that mindset shift of like, I'm taking this one weekend out of the month to do this because it's important
Yeah.
to me and it's going to nurture my future ideas. It's going to nurture my creativity. Or I'm going to practice a different kind of skill, or I'm going to write poetry, or I'm going to write a short
Yeah.
story. Um, I think that's really, really valuable. And I wish I did that more without guilty feelings.
Yeah. That's it. I do feel the guilt as well. I see that as being a problem.
Hmm.
That it's just sometimes you're like, I'm cheating on this, or
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
Exactly. Um, let's hop into the chat. Steve said, oh, I think I skipped the first half. The real life hack is finding a job you like and find rewarding, and that has truly changed my life. I don't feel like I'm wasting time at work. It's time I enjoy spending doing the things I do, which is also a big reason as to why I don't really want to be a full-time writer. Maybe 4 days of mortal job and 1 day of writing job, and that would be my perfect solution.
Yeah.
I love this for you. I hope in I hope you get the chance in the future to, decrease mortal job just a little bit and find that balance. Michael said it took about 750 hours to write my epic poem from start to finish.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. That's cool that you like time tracked it and kind of have an
Yeah.
idea of that.
Yeah.
Really, that's quite an achievement.
Yeah. That's impressive.
Marta said, also, I actually really like my job most of the time. I just wish I could do it part time. And I agree with that. Um, I think a lot about like if I could do my job part time, that would be perfect. Keep my health insurance,
Oh yeah.
just work just enough hours to keep my health insurance, and then
I kind of I like this idea of 3 days mortal job, 3 days
mhm,
writing. But
yeah,
it's funny because to me, just the fact that we're calling it a mortal job as a funny joke kind of gives an insight that we don't think it's as fun or
yeah,
magical or fantastic as being able to write.
Yeah, it is the thing that keeps the food on the table and the roof over the head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Marta agreed. I feel like I'm really bad at this, leaning very heavily into revising projects for far too long. I've spent over 1,000 hours on the first book of project site, and while part of that was because it's my first book and taught me how to write, there's also a bit of perfectionism in there that I'm trying to listen to less for future books. I'm also trying to push myself to have more side projects and get better at the earlier stages of writing and not be stuck in eternal revisions. This is very wise and astute, and I would absolutely hate to know how many hours I've put into certain projects. I think
I don't want to know.
it would make me really upset.
But I don't think I've got enough of an idea of what's a normal amount to be
Right,
like,
that
thinking
too.
about it. So I think I'd end up perhaps just comparing between projects. But yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. But yeah, don't beat yourself up too much, Marta. Like you said, it's all about the journey of learning.
yeah.
Um, Let me see any other answers here that I missed. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling.
We've got one from Katie at the end.
We're still talking about the multilingualism. Okay, skipping down to Katie. I think it's been such a struggle for me recently because one of my projects is literally my job now. So anytime I work on nurturing new ideas or even an old idea, I feel so guilty that I'm not doing my job and it sucks. Oh,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
not even a factor in our consideration. Like it literally, it's already hard enough to be like, oh, I'm cheating on my main project with like,
Hmm.
you know, little side ideas, like they're side
Yeah.
chicks.
I feel like though, like obviously your job is to write book two, like that's your task right now. But if you zoom out, your larger job is writer. And
Yeah,
your larger job is to continue having new ideas and to continue writing books. So I would not
yeah,
feel guilty if book two, is in a good place and you're trucking along and you're making your progress, then, take Friday mornings to work on new ideas. And I wouldn't feel guilty about that at all because that's part of your larger job.
that's true. Although she's obviously under contract, so
Yeah, do your contracted job Monday through Thursday. And obviously,
yeah.
if that's, in a place where you need to forget everything else and drop everything else, yeah, girl, do it. But if you're, doing your job, doing what you need to do,
But it
take.
goes back to that question that we're asking at the start, which is sort of like, how do you balance that? Because I
Mhm.
find it can be difficult to stay, focused on one project if I'm also veering into another project. And then I'm like, wait, I
Mm,
need to get back into it every single time. That can be quite difficult as well. Like just
yeah, if you're not good at
switching your
project
mind.
jumping,
Yeah.
I could see that being distracting.
It's really difficult as well if you're writing in the same genre, I think, because then
Hmm.
I really need to get my head into the characters I'm writing and the setting and everything, the world building around them. And
Yeah.
if I'm doing that on two different projects, it's really hard, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't. I personally couldn't draft two projects at the same
No,
time.
that
I
I
would
could,
do like I'm drafting book two, and Friday mornings from like 8 to 12, I'm going to world build for the witch book or something.
yeah,
Kay said, "Oh yeah, totally. It's such a hard balance of like I must work on my contracted work, but I also have to build my career." And yeah, the guilt was so immense because I was miserable working on book two, so I wasn't working on book two as much as I should have. That's
yeah,
okay. You're also doing this for the first time. And just imagine, Katie, when you have 5 books in your backlist, you're going to know so much more about how you like to work and what works for
yeah,
you. And you're figuring that out right now. And
true.
there's no rules or guidelines or someone to tell you how to do this. You have to build it for yourself. And I know that's no easy task.
Very true.
Yeah. All right. OMG, I hope future Katie has it figured out. Please, future Katie. We believe in you. And just imagine having 5 Katie books on my shelf. I can't wait for that day.
Yes.
I
Although
know.
Amazon keeps giving me different dates of when I'm going to receive your book in the UK. So I don't know. But at the moment, it seems to be 23rd of July. So
Oh,
not sure.
oh, I'm so excited.
it's changed like 5 times.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw this in the Discord, Katie. I posted in the cafe, but I texted all the info about the White Whale launch to my sister-in-law who lives in Pittsburgh. And when I sent her the link and stuff, she was like, "Oh, I've seen a lot of promo for this book."
It's so fun.
So exciting. So I think that's some proof that Atria is pushing it, and that's so exciting.
That is really exciting.
Yeah. So far out, I could literally bring you a book faster.
No, I know. I don't know if it's moved again, but like it's Amazon. They just, I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, friends. I think it's time for another sprint. We have some adventures to
Oh,
April.
2nd of July now. The day
Oh,
before was 23rd. I'm not joking. But now it says 2nd of July. So it's moved quite a bit, which is getting there.
good. That's
Getting there.
good. Yeah. No way, that's wild. Yeah, I know. I was so excited. I told her to bring all her friends. So if you see like a group of like five Gen Zers with like really cool dyed hair, that's probably her.
Love that.
um, all right, friends. I'm going to pull up our second question to think about while we're sprinting. If you had all the time and flexibility, what would your ideal day look like and how would your writing routine change? So this is just an opportunity for us to go down, follow the dream, and just visualize and picture for a second if we had the chance to design our writing routine with no boundaries. What do we think would work well for us and what would we be able to do differently? So be thinking about that. I'm gonna pull up our stream timer. Cocktail timer. It's so pretty. It's so gorgeous. All right, 30 minutes again.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's get that crispy pouring sound that we all love so much. Good luck, everybody. Alrighty, guys. How'd we do?
Good. Sorry, I was literally just putting it into track bear right now. Like
Excellent.
it's that nice little satisfying feeling when you're just like, oh, and another 30 minutes done.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
I am at a total of 533 words, so I don't know how many I wrote now because I had like 180 earlier, so
There you
probably like
go. Getting
yeah.
into it.
Yeah, getting there. I think I'm inching towards the moment when Themis is gonna come in the room and Axel's gonna meet her for the first time, but
Gasp.
I haven't decided how to handle that yet, and I think I'm sort of stalling, and I'm like, I don't want to overwrite scenes that don't need writing just because I'm stalling. Uh,
Yeah.
but I wanted to have like his first impressions of everyone else before she comes in the room, and I've set it up as like sort of a they're having a meeting first where they're going to be given the information and details of the mission. So they're like it's very like official in the vortex building and everything with the suits and all that.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm trying to shape his character to give the POV a little bit more the idea that he's a security consultant. So I'm trying to make sure he notices a lot of things about the people while observing them. So, like for instance, everyone goes to sit by the table finally after they've all introduced themselves, and he's like just watching as they each sit to observe the relationship. So he's like, Wensley grabs the seat closest to Felicia in a poor attempt at showing his status. Isabel sits next to him and scoots her chair closer. Her hand lands on his arm for a brief second. These two are together, no doubt about it. It's just like small little. I'm trying to like make him more. He's like a watcher type of character because his
Mm,
job is security, right?
hmm.
And while theme is she's a lot more. I think she'll be a little bit more reactive and less like I'm looking at things. I don't know. So it's hard
Yeah.
to shape two different POVs.
Yeah. Honestly, I admire you so much already for just what you've distinguished so far.
It's it's
Sounds hard.
it's a difficult task, and I don't know if I'm succeeding, but that'll be for draft two.
That's right. That's right. Gotta be honest, I did not do a lot of writing on that sprint. That was
Fair.
a snack sprint, and also I am experimenting a little bit with a new writing app this week.
Ooh, what is it?
Um, this is a bit of a spoiler. I am going to do a video on this, but I am testing out the Bioc app.
Oh, I don't know this one.
It's brand new. They actually reached out to me and asked me to test their app.
Ah, I love that.
So
Oh,
I'm
that's so
testing it this
exciting.
week. Yeah. So a lot of that sprint was me just organizing and setting up files and just kind of like um, poking around and dumping some things from my Dabble into it and such. So
Is
not a
it
lot of
is,
words added, but
is it available for anyone to use, or is it in like beta testing, or like?
I'm pretty sure you can go test it out right now. There is a
Hmm.
free version, I think, that is just like the text editor, I believe, and then there are other features that you'll just have to watch my video to find out.
I am very excited for that. I do love reading about like new writing programs, and then I end up sticking to the same shit, but still, I do enjoy
I
it.
know it's hard to depart from what we're used to, but
Even
um,
like the only one I wish I could get more into is ellipses because they are available from your phone, and that's the main thing I've been
ooh,
wanting forever. But I basically wish it was First Draft Pro, but with the availability on my phone, and it's just not.
yeah.
It's missing the feature of the outline, which I love in First Draft Pro. So yeah,
I know. I always feel like I wish I could do an amalgam of all
yes,
these apps and squish them together into like my perfect writing app.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that was mostly distractions for me on that sprint, but nevertheless, we persist. Do you want to chat about our question for sprint two? If you had all the time and flexibility, what would your ideal day look like, and how would your writing routine change because of it?
To be fair, I think it would look more like my weekends at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
which are very much I tend to have the morning to go on a dog walk, which is
Mm-hmm.
nice and nature vibes. And then just taking my time to lunch. And then in the afternoon is when I like to start writing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I'm working, I tend to have to write then in the evening after work. And I find that my peak inspiration is actually probably midday. So I really do enjoy writing midday. And even still, like when we're doing our stream like at 3 p.m. for me, that's still early enough that I'm
Hmm.
feeling a lot more inspiration. Sometimes I'll have random bouts in the evening and I'll be like, I'm a night owl, but
Yeah.
like the actual act of drafting, like just drafting, I prefer to do it midday-ish if I can. So I would love to have more days in the week when I can do that. And then obviously I can sometimes sneak in some words at lunch, but that eats into my eating time and my, going for a walk time and all of these things. And there's just too many things
Hmm.
to cram into a day. So yeah, if I
Yeah.
had more flexibility and time, I would love, I mean, I know the questions about the day, but I also referring some of the people saying what their week would look like if it was ideal. I would love also to have potentially part-time version of my job and then the other time set
Hmm.
to write, because then not every day would look the same. And I think that's quite useful when you're writing. It's just you don't get stuck into a same routine. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. This is so fun to think about. It's fun to daydream. I think I definitely agree that writing midday feels so much easier.
Yeah.
And I love, like, we have our Lazy Gang streams at 10 a.m., and that's great for me. I would love to, like, have morning time to get up and have a nice lazy breakfast, maybe
Yeah.
do yoga if I was really on it, and then write from like 10 to noon,
Yeah.
have lunch, maybe write from like 1 to 3, but that even if I just wrote from like 10 to noon and then effed off and did other things,
That's already good. Yeah.
still writing 2 hours a day for the whole week, all in a row, that would be
Yeah.
more than I'm currently doing, that's for sure. Um, And I would love just the opportunity to be able to go and do stuff in the middle of my day.
Yeah.
And, like I'm trying to sign up for like exercise classes and they're like at 1 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, F me, I
Yeah.
guess.
I think you're right. Actually, if I were writing full time, I think I would love to integrate more like um maybe more walking throughout the week, which
Hmm.
I've been trying to do anyway, like recently since the weather's been better, but also just more sports activities and stuff and just things that
Yeah.
I just feel like when you're working full time, it's just really hard to pick and choose what you're going to use your bits of free time for.
Yeah.
And if I could, yes, I would spend a lot more of that time writing or thinking and creating ideas or revising. But then I would also have chunks of that time to be like, and then I'm going to go be healthy and do this. And
Yeah. Yeah. And I would love to just be like, Monday mornings, I'm going to do personal life admin.
yeah,
Because my personal life admin right now has to happen at like 8 p.m. That's when I'm like scheduling my doctor's appointments or like emailing whatever.
yeah,
Um, just having time for personal life admin, and I would have like a housewife day. I would be like Friday, I'm cleaning, I'm meal prepping, I'm gonna make a big ass meal that gives us a ton of leftovers.
oh my God, I love that.
I'm gonna make muffins.
Ah, yes, give them to me.
Like, we're not made to survive in this capitalist society with both people working.
Yeah,
We're supposed to have a support person that does all the other shit.
yeah. To be
And
fair, yeah, Jamie and I have both been doing more meal prepping accidentally recently. Like accidentally, as in I've not tried to do meal prep, but it's just I've been doing the same salad over and over again, and I'm just sort of making it in a batch and having like, oh, I'll have 3 boxes of it for later. And
yeah, that's
it's just like,
great.
oh, this does help because it frees up so much of my lunchtime at when I'm working to then
Yeah.
go on a walk and do other stuff and everything.
Hmm.
So it
I'm
helps.
constantly saving all these recipes of like, make your homemade protein breakfast bars. And it's like, why? Like, I would have to sacrifice 3 hours every Sunday.
Yeah,
Like, who currently I can't do that. But if I had all the time, I would definitely do what I would call housewife day.
I do like that. I like that idea.
Just to, make life a little easier for the rest of the week. Alrighty. So those are my thoughts. Let's hop in. Michael said, all I know is that my favorite time to write is morning, followed by night, followed by afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's true. If you had all the flexibility, you can just intuitively write whenever you wanted. You didn't even have to have a schedule.
Yeah, that's true. Although I think I would need to have a schedule.
Yeah. Um, Miley said an ideal day would be filled with crochet, writing, and cooking for my friends with no expectation of a schedule. And there would also be time for a 4-hour hike and hammock in the woods.
Oh, that sounds so
I
cute.
love this, Miley. I love that you thought about cooking for friends. Like, that's so sweet.
That is very cute.
Bye, Keiko. Thanks for joining. And here's some channel suggestions if you would like to do more writing than we are currently doing. Stieg didn't write now either. Haven't even opened my document. Okay, Stieg, open your document right now.
Open your goddamn document.
Open it right now. I need you to put in the chat that you have opened your document, please. Marta filmed one intro and the outro and voiceover. Only the second
Yeah.
intro to go, which requires me to move the camera somewhere else for reasons.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. Is it a mysterious reason or is it just to make it different? Miley woke up, took meds, made tea. Excellent job. For Marta's answer to the question, I think I'd aim to do writing in the morning, art in the afternoon, and YouTube in the evening. I'd also allow myself a lot more writing related art projects, spend more time on character art and learning cover design and stuff like that.
That's a nice little schedule in there. I
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah. It was so difficult to start this next chapter, but I did write about 50 words. Good job, Flora.
Yes, we believe in you.
Every time you talk about this project, I just start frothing at the mouth. When you need betas, hit me up.
You know what? It's actually very interesting, and I'll talk about it at some point in a video, I'm sure, about the experience of sharing everything about this project or as much as I can
Mhm.
in videos because I have 3 beta readers right now lined up now. That's crazy. And I'm not even talking about my critic partners. I'm not even talking about you, Anna.
Oh, oh,
I've already got 3 people who have said like, when you need beta readers, hit me up. And this is the
that's
third one.
amazing.
And I'm just like, I've never
Amazing.
had that before. This is very fun.
Be
I mean,
keeping a
obviously,
little list.
people will show interest in other books, like if you say, oh, it's about this and that. But I feel like just being completely transparent, if anything, I would think people would be bored of it by the end and be like, well, I know everything. Why would I read it?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Maybe you can include a question about that in your beta questionnaire. Like, how
Yeah.
did knowing everything about the story change how you went into it
Like
and your
I've
expectations?
I've revealed who the villain is and everything.
Yeah, that's so fun.
Yes, Martha, you
Um,
are one of them.
um, to be clear, Marta, I am not getting paid.
Still.
I am not getting paid. Hello, Wendy. Thanks for coming. And hello, Adam. So many friends. Happy Sunday. Getting to do exercise classes and going on walks in the middle of the day sounds so good, especially in winter. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I think it
true.
just sounds so nice to be able to go do things when it's quieter and when
Yeah.
there aren't a lot of people out and I can go to the grocery store and then it's not like hell, you know?
I have become such an old person about this because like I've
Me
been
too.
doing because I've been doing midday walks all of last month or like the last 3 weeks or so during work hours. I've been like at lunchtime I'm going for like a 20-minute walk or longer if I can. And every single time I'm like, why is there so many youth out there at this time? It's all kids that are like on break from school and they're all fucking wearing black parkas. I don't know what it is. They're all like wearing the same fucking coats and jackets. It's been so much nicer this week because they're on fucking holiday.
Hmm.
I feel like, oh, this is nice. No one's been, looking at me weirdly. And I'm just like, I'm
Yeah.
just a lady now. I'm just like,
Yeah. No one's
get back
grumpier
to
than me when
school.
I show up to my favorite coffee shop on like a Tuesday
Yeah.
night because Luke and I like to go. They're open in the evenings they have like a cocktail program. So they flip from coffee shop to cocktails.
Oh, that's cute.
So we go there sometimes on the weeknights because we know it'll be quiet.
Yeah.
And lately they've been getting more popular and I'm not okay with
All
it
right.
because we show up expecting there to be a free table and we're like, what the hell? It's Wednesday. Everybody get out.
That's also spring. That's just how it is with spring. Like,
Mhm.
just places become more popular. People want to go out more and do more stuff.
Yeah. Um, Michael asked, do you have a favorite writing month of the year for a season or event or something else?
All I can tell you is November
Mm,
was a shit month to write a book in.
mm-mm.
It was a terrible idea anyway.
I actually have to say April. It's a long month, first of all, many
Yeah.
days. Um, and I feel like April is always when I finally get out of my winter slowness and I start
Yeah.
going like, okay, babe, let's pick it up. Here
Yeah.
we go. Like April is when I finally kind of start moving and
Yes, and
grooving.
it's the spring vibe, so you've got more motivation. The days are
Yeah.
longer,
Hmm.
which also helps a lot
The
with
sun
motivation.
is out.
For way longer of the day, so you're just like, my day's not over yet until the sun sets, which helps. But
Hmm.
it's not summer yet when you're just like, I just want to lazy around in the garden or by a pool somewhere and do nothing. So it's like that.
Exactly.
Still have the motivation. Yeah.
I so agree. It's so depressing walking into work when it's still dark and then walking home when it's gotten dark again. Yeah,
Yeah. Agreed.
very true. Marta has been making homemade protein bars for a few months. Highly recommend. Oh, do it in 20 minutes? Marta, this is so fantastic.
Martha, send your recipe.
How do you do it all? It's less about the protein bars and it's more about like cleaning my house. I'll say that. Um,
But I've been also doing what like you're doing, saving recipes I see on TikTok and just saving them on a
mhm,
little TikTok collection folder. And there was one I actually did, and like I've been trying to be like, okay, I'm gonna try and do one every now and then from this
mhm.
list I'm keeping. Uh,
Cool.
it's just I actually only save the ones that I'm like, that looks like it wouldn't take that long.
Yeah. Marta, I would love if you put this in the Discord so I can try it.
Yeah.
Um, Steve confirmed, open the document, and little Scrivener reset ping panged. Ooh, what
How
does
is
that
it?
mean?
Does that mean it's like reloading? Like
Does that
what does
mean
it
you
mean?
have do you have to download a update or something? Ooh.
Yeah.
Am I one of them? Oh yes, adding to the beta reader list. Miley doesn't care how much they know. If we all lived our lives like an old retired white lady, I think we'd feel great. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I also get annoyed at all the youth running around at lunchtime.
Yeah.
Before I moved and was commuting by train, it was full of kids going to school in the morning, and I ended up changing to an earlier train and going to work earlier than I needed to avoid them.
I love that about you, Marta. I would just have showed up late every morning and said it was the train's fault.
Everyone agrees November is the worst. Yeah. Um, we're happy the sun is out. Makes it easier not to stay in bed forever. I feel that too.
You know what makes it really easy? Having no proper blinds on my Velux window, so it wakes me up in the morning.
That helps. Um, I'm glad we don't have across the hall neighbors like Adam's. I'm sorry, Adam.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I gotta say my house is not as clean as I'd like. Whose is? Whose is?
Um,
Not mine.
we just got a cleaner. We both hate cleaning, so we have a cleaner who
Oh,
comes in.
love that.
I don't know why everyone doesn't do that. It's not that expensive. We get her every 2 weeks, not every week. And when you have a dog and dog hair everywhere, it's fucking great.
Hmm. Yeah, that. Um, I read a finance book recently, and like one of the exercises was like, design your rich life. Like just daydream for a little bit, and like being able to have like a monthly clean was definitely on my list. Like, can someone just help me
Yeah.
get to a baseline, please?
Yeah.
No, the little ping it does every day you open it for the first time that day, which tells you that the
I don't have
tracker
that.
has been reset for the day. Oh, that
I
sounds
don't have
fun.
that at all. Mine doesn't make any noise. It doesn't make a ping.
Yeah, that sounds really fun and nice.
Do you set it up a certain way or
I want the little sound feedback, please.
yeah.
I do have flexi hours, so me getting to work earlier does mean I can leave earlier.
That's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good.
All right. Well, I do have one final question, and maybe we'll do a little short cool down sprint.
Yeah, that
Does that
sounds
work for
nice.
you?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've done a lot of complaining. Let's end on a moment of positivity, perhaps.
Sure.
Um, what is one small thing you could change right now to make a positive impact on your work slash life slash creative balance?
Do
Small
I have
thing.
do you want me are we doing a small cool down?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
first.
we'll do a sprint first.
Because I was like on the spot right now, I don't have an answer for you.
No, 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 no. You can think about it. You can think about it. So we'll do our cool down sprint, everybody. So Stieg is going to do his first writing of the day,
Yes,
and
he
he will
is.
not procrastinate it anymore. And we'll get everything set for next time. So wrap up what you were doing, get your notes in a good place, and we will see you on the other side. Alrighty. Good work. How did you do on your cool down cocktail sprint?
I didn't use it to cool down. I was just writing some more. It was
That's
like,
fine.
whilst I'm still in the vibe, in the mood, I should
Yeah.
continue. So I'm now at 769 words for the day, and I'm at 8,750 in the manuscript so far.
Ooh,
So
did you say 8,000?
yes.
Amazing. You're so close to getting your first 10K into the book.
Yes. And I'm trying to be really good with like thinking of percentages for act one, act two, etc. So I'm hoping I'm going to get to the right point at the right time in
Hmm.
however many words I have in my head for this book. I'd like for it to be shorter than my usual nonsensical over 100K pieces of shit. I'm
There's
just like,
nothing wrong with that. There's
and I'm
nothing
like,
wrong with that.
yes, because then I have to untangle everything and be like, why did I overwrite so much? But
Hmm.
I've got more in mind. Like a 85K is what I'm seeing this one as, and it should be a standalone, so I should make that easier.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and also, I don't want to have like a perfect balance of POVs. So Axel's POV really is going to be like 25-30% of the book, while the rest is going to be Themis.
Hmm.
Because he doesn't have an arc, to be honest. I think he's going to remain the same throughout the book. So
Hmm.
that's why I don't really need him to have more of a POV, while she does have an arc. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Cool. I'm getting so excited. What are the next videos that you have planned for Project Alien, if I can pick
I
your brain?
will. I think I'm just gonna do monthlies on the actual drafting, and I'll be
Hmm.
sharing snippets here and there, and just be like, "Here's, a passage that I like," or like I've got a few in there where I'm just typing in, and then afterwards re-changing a bunch of things. So I want to show like the reality of like a first draft,
Yeah.
um, and I'm mostly talking through sort of the experience of drafting through this outline, because I have a proper outline this time, and
Hmm.
making notes of world building at the same time and all of that. Like, for instance, I'm building a little lexicon page because I'm realizing I use so much sci-fi
Yeah.
lingo that I need to keep track of it and make sure it's, the right words every single time.
Cool. Cool. You have to promise you'll put the lexicon in the front of the book and not the back, because that is my
It's
pet
not,
peeve.
I'm not putting it anywhere. It's for me. It's more so that I remember what words I've used rather than to give to people. I don't
Ah.
think I'll need to give it to people because they, although, they're wishy-washy. Hello, Edgar. Um,
Yogurt? Yogurt?
no, he's just had dinner. He's just like, let me sit on the couch.
Oh, sweet boy.
Um, but yeah, I feel like it's more for me to keep track of the words I'm using and make sure I use the same words. But if they're complicated, I'll explain them. Like, for instance, Axel being a security consultant, he might not know what some of the scientists' jobs are, which makes sense. Like in
Mhm.
the real world, if you're like, oh, she's like a biologist of this and that, or like a specialist in this, a regular old Joe might not know what that is anyway. So similarly, someone else might explain like, oh, they do this. So he meets up at some point, one of the characters, and they're like, oh, they specialize in doing this, and there's like a little
Mhm.
explanation as to the role title. But
Mm,
other words, I don't need to explain what a wrist comes is. Like, it's a fucking
sure.
burn on your arm, because that's what every sci-fi does.
Yeah, totally.
So it's like a mix of both. Yeah.
Yeah, very fun. Well, I'm really excited to follow this journey. Absolutely. Let's see how
How
everybody
did you
else did.
do?
Oh, me? Me?
Yes.
That was good. I just did some writing and got up to 950 words for the day. So I'm not sure how much that is, but just a little, just a little bit. And
That's so good. That's
hated all the
great.
words, but they exist.
How are
So,
you doing with your time challenge for Track Bear? Are you yeah.
let's see. I'm I don't want to guess and be totally wrong. And I also need to put in those 15 minutes.
Yes. You
So
should
let me
definitely
do
add that.
that. On Hare's book. Hold, please. Hold music. I'm at 4 hours 45.
Nice. Nice. You're getting there. You're
Yeah.
almost halfway through.
Yeah, we're getting there. If I do some solid butt and chair time tomorrow and the day after, I think we will be on track
Yes.
mid-month, and I love that because I was definitely in the early part of the month. I was like, oh, it's already worthless, and I ruined it already.
But it's not, because so 15 hours is basically 30 minutes per day.
Hmm.
So all you need to do is do an hour per day right now, and you'll
Hmm.
catch up really, really quick.
Yeah, it seems doable, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
And most of all, I think, that's basically the amount of time that I need to finish this book, and it should be done by then if I actually do it.
I believe in you. And I want this book too, so
I don't know. You might change your
I
mind when you
want it.
see it.
I want it in any state.
Oh gosh. Um, Alrighty. Well, before we go, let's end on our question. What is one small thing you could change right now to make a positive impact on your work/life/ creative balance?
Um, I'm gonna try and be positive about myself and say that, first of all, I think this year I've already been doing a little bit more of a change.
Love.
And it has nothing to do with writing. It's been doing my 1 day a walk thing,
Mm.
because the amount of times that when I was doing the outline last month for Project Alien, the amount of times I had ideas while walking has been incredible. And it was just like, oh my God, yes, I need my midday walk to step away from work
Yeah.
and like just have a little creative moment for other things. And that's very often when I be like, oh my God, this is when I realized Themis was actually like that. And just this is when I had like the moment of like, Themis is a numbers girly, and that explains so much about her personality. She needs diagnostics for everything. And suddenly it was
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
Eureka.
She needs to run the numbers before making any sort of decision.
Yeah. And I think it's probably a combination of several things. Like, I've been going on walks. I've been, not that I was eating like shit before, but I've been adding more like different healthy things in my diet. Like, I've been doing
Hmm.
more salads and things like that, maybe eating less carbs midday and trying to focus on carbs in the evening instead.
Yeah. Hmm.
And I feel like all of these things are sort of helping clear some of my brain fog I get, like just
Yeah. Yeah.
so that has a positive impact basically on my writing as well. Like,
A
it's
100%.
helping the balance.
Yeah.
Um, so although the question was what can I do next, I'm like I've started doing something.
Yeah, and keeping it up,
Yeah,
that's part of it. I love
yeah,
that. Yeah,
it's
I
amazing.
definitely feel a difference when I'm eating well and when I'm not. Just the brain fog.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. I literally say that, like, when I have fish, my brain feels sharper.
it's amazing.
I
And
don't know. It's just placebo, but I feel like when I eat fish, I feel smarter.
I don't quite have that, but I feel like having more fruits and vegetables and stuff for me has been the thing I
Hmm.
was kind of missing from my diet. Um, and like that doesn't mean I stopped myself from having crap as well. Like, it's a balance as well. Like, Friday we
Absolutely.
went out, Jamie and I came back, we're like, let's grab McDonald's on the way home. We are starving. It's
Oh,
just,
yeah. Will I ever stop
yeah.
eating Taco Bell? No, I will not.
And you shouldn't.
Yeah. I think the one small thing I could do is I would love to read in the mornings
Oh, that's a
because
good idea.
I get really sad about, like, I want to read all the books in the world,
Yeah,
and I want to read 50 books in a year. And I truly, like, nothing makes me happier than reading and getting through books. Like, I
yeah.
just love being immersed in stories. And if I read every single morning, I think that would be so lovely. I did that this past week because I had a book club at work and I was kind of behind on the book. So I was
I
reading
love
with my
that.
breakfast.
I just love the idea of having a book club at work. It's so cute. And I wish
It is
that
cute.
I can't do it, unfortunately, because I don't think people really read much at my workplace or read the same kind of stuff I would read either. So,
Yeah, it's definitely interesting picking the book.
mm,
But I was a little behind, and so I had to catch up. And so I was reading in the mornings before work. And that
yeah.
was so lovely. I'm like, why don't I do this? I mean, I know I'm trying to pack a million things in my mornings, as
You
always.
work. Remote as well, fully, or do you have an office you can go to sometimes?
Full
Okay.
time in this room, baby.
Yeah, because I used to read on my commute, and
Mm,
I don't miss it for the fucking life of me. I do not miss the commute. It's a
hmm.
horrible thing. It should be banned. It should be
You
rage,
should get
rage
paid for your
zones.
commute, is how I feel. Commuting hours you should be paid for, in my opinion.
But I just miss, the routine of reading in the morning. That
Hmm.
was quite nice.
Yeah, just having that built-in habit.
Yeah.
Let's see what everybody else has for their small thing. Marta said my first thought was going back to writing over breakfast, so kind of a similar thing. I've fallen
Mm,
off the bandwagon with that this year, and I think getting back to that would make me feel better. I agree. And Adam said being less lonely, being in community. I think that's not
yeah,
just a small thing. I think being in community can make a big difference, actually.
definitely.
Michael said, in the same vein, communicate a little more with friend peeps via social media, even if just to say hi, make some chit chat. If you want to get more friend messages in your inboxes, you've got to send more. And it's that simple.
That is a very wholesome idea as well. I like
Yeah.
that.
I think
Yeah.
if you approach the world with positivity, you will receive positivity.
I also think that's why having like a Discord where we can chat about writing in general and anything else related to it is kind of healthy, because it doesn't mean you have to have one-to-one chats with people all the time, but you can just like throw in like, hey, I'm
Hmm.
proud of this, hey, I've done that. And
Yeah.
if you don't have writing friends in real life, then that can be really helpful.
Hmm. Steve said to speak and think positively about my writing instead of always being self-depreciating.
That's a very good one. I like that.
Yeah. Miley said, I can dedicate time for myself every day instead of puttering around with no purpose in my free hours. And I feel called out by this.
I see that one as a positive for most people, but a negative for me if I were to do this, because I've got the other way around where I need to learn that doing nothing is actually okay and not to
Yeah.
feel so guilty about doing nothing. Sometimes your brain needs the reset. You need to watch some trash TV or scroll down TikTok or just lounge on the couch and do
Hmm.
nothing.
Hmm.
And whenever I do this, especially during the weekend, I'm like, this was my one time to do productive things for me that aren't work related. And then I feel so guilty. And it's like,
Yeah.
is that helpful? No, I might as well just enjoy it.
This is so true and lines up with what Lynn said. Stop and smell the roses, so to speak. Try to be more present. Life is short and enjoy the
Yeah,
little peaceful moments in life.
true.
I think that was so true. Um, I'm going to jump to a line from Stieg. Their steps sounded muffled on the dirt ground, and he was grateful for the cover of darkness shielding them from potential onlookers who might be scouting down from one of the guard towers.
Oh,
Ooh. Dun 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 dun
exciting.
dun 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 dun.
But make it
um,
cowboy. Make
but
it
make
wet.
it cowboy. Yeah, make it more twangy. Now, 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 now.
Just some Ennio Morricone in there, and then you're
That's
good.
so funny. Miley read 14 pages for a friend. Nice job. We're cruising. Every stream I've seen in the past 48 hours has been interrupted by a dog. That
He's
means they've
just a
been
small
blessed.
curl now. Just a little curl.
Oh, a little Edgar donut.
Yeah.
Hmm. I think this puts it very succinctly. Gotta get those omega 3s, you know?
Yeah.
Thank you, Lynn. 15 hours this month is much more realistic than a 25 hours goal I set for myself and I'm failing. Forgot to account for unpacking and settling into new home. Wow. Yeah, that is a big project, Lynn.
That is like, I did not set any writing goals the year like I moved during that month. Like in my head, I was like, that month I'm not going to do much.
Mm-mm.
It was clear to me. But
Yeah.
Lynn, you could add it as like a productivity thing
Yeah.
to track there anyway, and just be like, because you can add several projects under your same time-based challenge. Because I've got Project Alien and I've got The Art of Summoning Demons, which I'm querying. So I've got both of those, and then I'll just input time every single time for one of those, but it goes into the same challenge. So you could do
Hmm.
that for, you know, settling in, getting boxes opened and unpacked, all of that.
Yeah. You
Same.
totally should. Yeah. You could do like 15 hours writing, 10 hours unpacking and organizing.
Yes.
I remember I made a video the month that we moved here down to Georgia when we moved from Boston to Atlanta. I don't know why the heck I thought I would have a writing goal that month, but my goal was to like do a big reread of my book I was working on at the time. And I just could not find any time to sit down and read a darn chapter
Yeah.
of that book. Like it was so hard. And I remember making that video and being like, y'all, I have not, like, this is, where did my time go? It was crazy.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad, Lynn. There's absolutely nothing wrong with adjusting goals, adjusting expectations.
Yes.
You
100%.
know, it's nothing is set in stone and no one's coming to like wag a finger at you. Lovely. Well, thank you all for your nice, positive takeaways. I will be thinking about this next week and maybe I'll be reading over my breakfast.
It's going to be food for thought for sure. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's nice to acknowledge what you're already doing, and then it's nice to see,
Yeah.
like you said, small things you can make changes on that would be helpful.
Yeah. I think we tackled a lot of important mindset shifts today.
Yeah, it's
And
good
it's
discussion.
helpful to just discuss and recalibrate as our expectations kind of get a little out of control and then we have to,
Yes,
check in with reality.
I think it's good to remind ourselves not just what we're not achieving yet, but everything we have achieved and are doing, and just
Say it again.
yeah,
Say it again. Yeah, I absolutely 100% agree. Maybe I should learn from y'all and not expect big writing progress next month when I move. I think that would be smart because time is going to feel like an illusion.
yes,
And yeah, great idea, Malin. That might actually motivate me to unpack more. Been trying to do at least one box a day, but that takes a long time depending on the box.
but isn't there anything more satisfying than ticking off, done this, done 30 minutes on that, done 15? That might be the Virgo moon in me
I
speaking, but
gotta gamify everything that I'm
I do
doing.
love gamifying tasks.
Thanks for streaming and kicking my ass in gear. Good day and joy be to you all. It's like in descriptions in novels, describe what's there and not what's not there.
True.
Very true. Well, thank you, friends. This has been a very lovely stream. I very much enjoyed spending my Sunday with you guys, as always. Um, what is going on with you, Malin? Do you have anything to plug coming up soon?
Where's the Virgo? Um, do I? I don't think I do. I just filmed an update on my goals for the year as Q1
Ooh,
ended.
yeah, love goals
So
videos.
I do need to edit that, and I'll post it sometime next week, or like maybe I'll plan it to be posted during the long weekend because we've got a long weekend in London
Mm,
for Easter. But the only thing really that I'm doing is at the end of the month, I'm going to be on Steek's channel to talk about the Story Grid, which is the latest craft book we're reading.
fun.
That's really it.
Yeah, that's great. I'm looking forward to both of those things. As far as me, I should be posting a video. Y'all got the sneak peek on this writing app probably in late April. So look forward to that. I'll have my regular solo stream on the last Wednesday of the month. And I am also the conductor for this month's Nostalgia Train book club. So if you
Ooh,
guys are fans of the Ember and the Ashes series, I would love if you would join us over on the Nostalgia Train Discord. And we're going to have a discussion about Ember and the Ashes sometime in late April, I assume. So
nice.
if you're in the mood to reread that, come join us. And yeah, thanks and bye. Yeah, you're also on my stream on Tuesday? Yes.
Yes, and I also have my own streams on Thursdays at the moment, whenever I'm doing them, but
Mhm.
they're just regular things, so I'm not plugging these in. It was like, is there anything special happening? I guess there's a chat about a book craft. Yeah.
Mhm. As Miley said, we will see you another time on the internet.
Yes,
So
love that.
there we go. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everybody. We'll see you another time. Bye.
Bye.